It's a tough call.
It's definitely going to be difficult, and I think the one thing that I noticed out of G2 that was fantastic was their speed of passing. The way these guys and this roster move the ball on the offensive side of the field is so lightning quick, to the point where even if it's a basic predictable pass, the speed of it is just to the point where you can't even intercept it if you wanted to.
Well, that's how you start off if you're eUnited. Roll Diz catches out the defense of G2, presses up a bit too far, and the pass out from Hoxer. And eUnited, great way to start game one.
And that's a classic Roll Diz goal, a cleanup man himself. He's always getting these great goals where he's just in the last position. He's got to make that hit. Roll Diz, he's been confident. If there's one thing about eUnited that I know, it's that Roll Diz can come in and really put on a shot on target when he needs to. He's had a lot of clutch moments, and I think, maybe if we can see them be a little bit more aggressive, eUnited might have a chance, and I'm not seeing it though.
He has been the man to clean up for eUnited. He certainly was last season. And starting off on the right foot here in game one against what is looking to be a very strong G2.
Yeah.
One that is back in form, especially from the previous season. Had some things to figure out. I've taken care of business when they've needed to so far. This ball does roll back to the G2 side. JNAP's tried to pick it up. Big play here from Ajax off the back wall, and Chicago does get the touch.
It's such a difficult read for Chicago off the backboard. He had to pre-jump that, make sure he reads the bounce perfectly. You've even seen it a lot of times this season. A lot of players struggle with those backboard reads. G2 looking confident, but they're still trailing by 1.
Plenty of time left, just over the first minute here in game one. Rizzo up to receive it. Comes straight back down to Roll Diz, but he doesn't get enough power on it, and Chicago there to clear it away. Still eUnited looking dangerous here. Eventually it does break down. Here's Rizzo. Dishes it off to JNAP's tough save, and Ajax makes it. Roll Diz has options, and Hoxer's next to him. Does feed it through, but a defender just gets a piece of it. On the G2 side, came a little too quick. Chicago over to JNAP's, looking for a second touch. Didn't get the other side, and Rizzo to keep playing on for G2. Great dish out to Roll Diz. He was going to keep it going. The pass over to Ajax. Ajax takes away that corner boost.
But I love what I'm seeing so far from both these teams. Great midfield possession, good passing into the midfield. Comes down to who's really predicting the line of the ball, the path of the ball, and how they can get in front of it to keep the possession. But so far, I mean, I've been impressed with the way United have started out this series.
Yeah, United have looked pretty good, but as soon as I say it, it's a race for JNAPS to get back. He had no boost to get around the ball, and that was a huge missed opportunity there for G2.
And I think maybe if he was a little bit more prepared for the clear and he timed that flip a little bit better, even without boost, he could have gotten an angle on the net. A huge miss for G2.
Still plenty of time. Here's Rizzo looking to take it himself. Stay behind this ball for the challenge. Chicago can't follow it up off the roll. Here's Ajax. Drop down from Roll Diz. In the end, ends up for a pass for Rizzo. Looking for options to his left. Tries to go for the back wall.
Nice pass out.
JNAP's the shot off the crossbar and in for G2. Textbook play.
This whole play, though, started off with that weird hit back from Roll Diz. He was trying to go for maybe a back pass, and that's what led G2 to have this possession. A bit of a mistake for Roll Diz. The communication didn't come out, and then the classic, like you said, textbook play where they feed it out into the middle. Somebody's there for a great shot.
Yeah, great pass from Chicago, and that's really what was textbook. Maybe not playing it off the crossbar, but the pass back towards your man was so crucial from Chicago to have that play end in success.
And from a player's perspective, I mean, it's always really difficult to get those midfield passes to go backwards into your own teammate, because timing that is so difficult. That's what makes it so deadly for G2, is that the pass isn't centered and rotating towards the net. It's actually going backwards, which makes the shot so much better.
Still, eUnited are pressing on here, and they are, playing against what we would say is a stronger team in G2 compared to Flight. There's a big demo, like you said, and opens up the net for JNAPS, and G2 ahead by 1.
Rizzo, a nice feed out into the middle. Chicago gets a solid 50. Then Rizzo, he does this throughout his entire career on G2 so far. He's the guy who's getting those demos, who's going for a bit more creative plays to throw off the defense. He does it here, and now they lead by 1 goal.
So G2 coming up on a minute left, trying to hang on to their lead. Hoxer can't get the flip reset. But to the point I was making earlier, it does feel like eUnited are playing better and better. And oh, that's a big miss from Rizzo. Still, G2 maybe not panic too hard as they are in the lead. Chicago looking for a flip, try to get by Ajax. Hoxer can't get by Rizzo, but you got to think if eUnited get back into this one, and maybe they won't because Rizzo's going to open up the net once again for G2, and Chicago puts it away.
You know what? When Rizzo can't actually find the net and shoot on target, he knows he can at least get a demo, and that's what he does right here. He goes for the demo, just a heat-sinking missile towards the net. The goalkeeper's taken out, and again we see a wide open shot for Rizzo's teammates.
The first 4 minutes of this game looked pretty good for eUnited. Much better than when they played against Flight. But G2, maybe it was just them having a slow start. Dangerous ball comes out, missed from JNAP's, follow-up from Ajax, and there's still life in eUnited.
G2 thankful they got that security goal, but now they've got 24 seconds to try and hold on to this lead. Rizzo needed a better clear out. You know, in that situation, it's so much better to feed the ball into the corner and stall out some time so that your teammates can get back, rotate back defensively. But instead, he kind of fed it out to the middle. You need to have a better hit there. eUnited, they capitalize.
United have a chance, get a demo on JNAP's, pass Rizzo. J-Jack's got to get in there and couldn't get inside. Hoxer, only 40 boost. Pad roll Diz downfield. 10 seconds left now for United. Can they get one late? It comes out to JNAP's, who'll boom it straight back to the United side. It's going to be a 0-second carry, and it could be roll Diz if he can get a second touch. And Rizzo's there to knock it down. G2 will take game one.
United, they had a chance there towards the end, but it was ultimately destroyed pretty much by the G2 defense. It's a brick wall that they've been building up. It started out a little bit shaky with that wide open net for eUnited, but they managed to fight back. And a big portion of that was to those 2 demo goals that Rizzo opened up for G2.
And honestly, watching this game, G2 did exactly what I expected them to do. Came out maybe a little bit slow.
Yeah.
But near the end of the game, they started to really heat up, open up opportunity, maybe off the demo from Rizzo or the shooting and passing between Chicago and JNAP's. But I am impressed with eUnited. They put up 4 quality minutes here in this game. And I think that Flight game might have served as a wake-up call to say, you know what, look, we are better than maybe that series showed, and they have a chance here to play against this G2 team and really take it to them.
And with eUnited, the thing that I really want to look for so much for their roster to do well in a series is creative plays. I think back to that Cloud9 series that eUnited just completely won with fashion and with style throughout the entire series against Cloud9. And it started off, those first 2 goals of that series were double touch backboard reads where they're showing off their mechanical ability. You know, we've got Ajax, we've got Hoxer. Both those guys can be so lethal on the offensive side. It's about how you set them up. So I think if they can get those setups there, then they can finally show up with more mechanical skill and really impress us with the shots that they're able to pull off. Because so far, since that series, eUnited have been so flat. A lot of these goals they're getting are very mediocre, and it's mostly just punishing goals. So if they can really open up with more creative passing, even demos, you see somebody like Rizzo, he might not be the best mechanical player, but the fact that he's able to make himself stand out by going for demos, doing that extra step to set himself apart. We need something like that from a player out of eUnited, and I think for me that could be Roldiz.
And for eUnited, they did have a lot of the passing plays going where it felt like they were dangerous on offense, and G2 did give them the space to pull off the passing plays. It's just finding that shot. Can you put it away? The G2 team gave up some of that space for eUnited to put it away. They just couldn't find the target. And again, this was a close game. A 3-2 loss for eUnited is not a bad loss against G2, especially who have looked so hot. But now it's like, now you go into game 2. What is it that you can do to really take down this G2 team? And I think that they showed it in game 1. It is that passing play, and they were quick to the ball. But as the game waned on, G2 really started to learn and adapt to what United was
I think it was really a warm-up game. G2 now, they're starting to get to their max potential. And like guys, it's multiple times where we see from the defense. I love the duo from JNAP's and Chicago when they feed themselves the ball back and forth. These give and goes back and forth between Chicago and JNAP's. They carry it out of the defense so many times, and more often than not, they can manage to find a shot on net. You know, maybe they don't get the goal 100% of the time, but almost always they will find an open opportunity to put one and strike the net with lots of shots, potential, and panic play that forces the defense to kind of react the way they do. And eUnited, it's going to be managing that. So if I were them, maybe you could position yourself more towards where JNAPS or Chicago are going to be in the midfield and try and cut off that pass.
And that's exactly what I think eUnited will try and do here in this coming game. And for G2, I think it's business as usual as we get players into the circuit, make sure everything is put together. We're going to take a look at some highlights from the last game and see what eUnited was able to put together early on. It was Roldiz to start things off, and it was off the clear from Hoxer, and G2 crept up just a bit too far, and that's what opened things up, and that's where eUnited really started to get things together as they were able to find a second goal as well.
And look at those passes, though. Multiple times we saw it where G2 can just toss the ball out into the midfield space. And we've been saying this and praising G2 all the time about their midfield passes. But I think what they've changed throughout these past 2 seasons, because when you think about it, last season, G2, they were almost relegated. They played in the promotion tournament. They had to fight their way against some of those rival series teams to get back into this season. So when you talk about what they've changed, I think they've implemented more elements other than just those midfield passing. I feel like they were too predictable all the time last season. You knew they were going to go for these midfield passes all the time, and now they're kind of mixing it up. They've got Rizzo's demos. They've got the passing give and goes between Chicago and JNAPS, and now they can mix in some of that surprise factor with the midfield passes. So they've got every element they need.
And I think it's quick and to the point too. It's snappy from G2. They're not trying to be too cute with it.
Definitely.
Get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes. How many touches can we get? It's do what needs to be done and then put the shot on target. And that's what we saw. All it takes is Chicago passing back towards JNAPS. He's a striker. He's going to put it on target, and it's a quality goal. And then, of course, like you said, having Rizzo opening up the net for G2 is a very strong attacking position for this team. As we get into game 2, see if G2 can keep things rolling, and if eUnited can bounce back. Very close game 1 loss here against G2. Starting things off, that shot just high from Hoxer. That quick pass, though, is exactly what eUnited need to stay dangerous.
Yeah. And I almost got flashbacks to last game. That initial burst of speed that caught G2 surprised, and in the backfield with a huge gap in the defense. Could have gotten one there for eUnited, but it's still 0-0.
JNAPS. Now Chicago plays it across. Rizzo was there, but couldn't go too far.
Boomer.
Big clear from Hoxer, and it's going to go in. JNAPS couldn't get back, and it is flashbacks from game 1.
Yeah, Hoxer, he just caught G2 off guard with a giant clear. The rotation was a little bit too slow, and I think it comes down to keeping possession, because you got to wait at least for that last defender of G2 to rotate back in net so he can block out a clear. Nobody was there to contest or challenge, and that's what left the field wide open.
And the thought was Rizzo trying to keep the play relevant by creeping up. JNAPS was making a very far rotation back and just couldn't get back in time. There's a shot off the crossbar from Chicago. JNAPS trying to keep it alive for Rizzo to come through. Still dangerous here for G2 as Chicago's going to play it out. JNAPS once again is there. Shot put on target, saved away by Hoxer, and G2's attack will break down.
Oh, good speed again.
And Ajax going to put it away, and like you said, it's the speed from eUnited on the counter. Get 2 quick ones.
And Ajax, the way he pinched the ball out, nobody's even ready for Ajax to shoot the ball. We're waiting for the third man rotation to come out from G2 to get back in the net. It's just a second late, too. Yeah, and they're not ready and prepared for that instant speed from Ajax, and now he's able to turn the ball around.
And G2's rotation, that's what they want to do. It's just that eUnited are able to find the net before G2 can get in position.
And it's that speed that could be the kryptonite we've been waiting to see if any team possesses against G2.
So a 2-goal lead opens up for eUnited in a comfortable position, but now you got to play 3.5 minutes against a very strong offense in G2. Big clear from Chicago. Doesn't hit the ceiling to keep its height. Answered back by Hoxer. Roldiz gets a demolition on JNAPS. Hoxer looking to pop this one up for Ajax. Not enough boost to get there.
What I want to see from eUnited now that they've got a 2-goal lead is not let up on the pressure. Don't try and play a little bit more passive. Stay aggressive. It's so often that we see teams go up against a situation where they're the underdog and they'll play passive once they get that lead.
Definitely don't want to turtle up. You can see that G2, they do make mistakes. They do give you space. And if you're there to meet it, you'll be rewarded. As of now, eUnited definitely feeling that G2 pressure. Chicago over to JNAPS. You can see the space that G2's given to work with. And they certainly are a team that'll make you pay. Pass down from Chicago. Shot left side. Saved by Hoxer. And gets the demo on Chicago. Rolled is trying to keep this one going. For Chicago, not a lot of boost to work with. And Rizzo looking for the last defender. Couldn't get there in time. Now Ajax. Opportunity for eUnited as the ball's carried up and over JNaps. Rizzo. Pass out to Chicago. Chicago's there, met by Ajax. eUnited. Another threatening shot. Chicago's up. Doesn't get it. Second touch from Ajax goes in. What a play for eUnited.
Ajax, he has been a monster with the speed. Look at how much faster he was than Rizzo, beating him out in the midfield. He follows up the double touch. In that situation, you just got to hope somebody on the backboard is going to miss. It happens, and Ajax is there to punish.
Big play from Ajax. And if they weren't comfortable before, they certainly are now. A minute and 40 seconds left. A 3-goal lead for eUnited. A completely different team in regards to what we saw when they played Flight. And while some may say that, you know, they caught out G2 a few times, I mean, that's what you got to do. Here's G2 to get on the board. It's Chicago.
I mean, speaking of catching the defense off guard, you can see JNaps with that challenge there, catches Hoxer completely off guard. He didn't know what was going on. He was mixed up in the net, forced into a difficult situation. Chicago is there with a solid finish. And G2, they've got a minute and a half left to find 2 goals.
Here's Rizzo taking it himself. Gets a second touch and a third over down to JNaps. An opportunity. Shot saved away by Ajax. Another chance for Chicago. Saved away by Hoxer.
Defense getting tested. Ajax, big saves. He's had such a stellar performance so far this entire series.
Rizzo to the far side. Chicago and JNaps are both there. Big clear from Hoxer. That one's not on target as it comes off the back wall. Popped up for Roll Diz. Hoxer used all of his boost to drop it to the midfield. Roll Diz again, trying to keep it alive for eUnited. Hoxer has boost to work with. Rizzo in a tough spot. Hoxer beats him to the ball off the backboard. Here's Ajax. Plays it down and away. And eUnited get their 4th.
Can you even stop this man, Ajax, getting a hat trick? And I want you to pay attention to where he positions himself over the ball. He got so high up above the ball to the point where he could slot it directly underneath the defender. Ajax, he is popping off right now.
Coming up on 30 seconds left, but I don't think eUnited care at this point. They are feeling themselves in this game. They are looking to take down G2 in game 2 and in a commanding fashion. Here's Rizzo trying to save face. Chicago could get past Ajax. With 10 seconds left, it's all but over here in game 2. eUnited have just turned it on. Rizzo going to play it off the back wall. Follow-up from JNaps is there off the crossbar. Plenty of shots for G2, but too many off the crossbar. And look at the saves, even at the end, when it didn't matter. Hoxer stretching out, and eUnited, a commanding game 2 victory.
Defense just standing tall for eUnited. This was a complete turnaround, and Corelli, it's such a difference that I almost forgot with how eUnited are playing right now. I almost forgot that they lost to Flight earlier. Literally, this is such a different team that we're watching right now. And Ajax, you have to give it to him, a hat trick. Huge performance. He was getting some crazy saves towards the end there, and we'll take another look at the positioning, the way he got above the ball here and managed to slot it down. That was so impressive and a great mechanical play from Ajax.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of his goals were incredibly impressive from Ajax, and Hoxer had a massive defensive game, over 1,000 points that game. 7 saves.
And Roldas didn't even have a save. This man was probably just out there in the midfield. He was challenging multiple times, and it came down to Hoxer. Like you said, 7 saves. That's ridiculous for any individual player in one game alone.
And he kept his team in it, and that's what you need, especially when you have Ajax doing so well on offense. You have a defensive rock like Hoxer coming through and making 7 saves and holding it down for your defense. And you saw a lot of the goals that that Ajax put out were just solo plays that he was able to take down the field, get a second touch, or beat the first defender Very strong showing here from eUnited.
And for G2, I mean, they had a couple chances of possession where they would carry the ball. They'd have solid passes. The shooting maybe just needs to be a little bit better. It's a difficult thing to analyze because I feel like G2, while they were getting smothered, it was those defensive mistakes where they can't put themselves in front of the ball. So if you can fix up your defense, I think they've got a closer game.
So we'll dive in to another game, game 3. Tie series. In a series where, you know, you think back to what the analyst said.
They gave G2 all the praise in the
Hands
world.
down.
Yeah, no hope whatsoever for eUnited.
And yet, a close game 1 and a commanding victory in game 2.
No.
And here's Ajax again.
Woo.
Can't get it down. Chicago was there. Follow-up from Hoxer. Turned away by Rizzo. And Ajax has just been a massive threat for eUnited. Here he is again. Another shot. It's weak. As he's fighting for it in the corner. Buys enough time for Roldiz to come through. And he plays it across. Hoxer pops it up for Ajax. What can he do with it? And cleared away by Chicago. Rizzo's there to receive it. That shot wide. Roldiz does a good job to buy some time for his team to get back. G2 now looking to put on the pressure. Hoxer does a good job to clear it away. Here's Roldiz off the corner. Gets a second touch. Still dangerous as it's just going to float to the back post. Roldiz. Ajax is there. Hoxer's up. Nobody from G2 is, and cleared away by JNaps in the end. The shot not dangerous enough.
Yeah, G2 doing a solid job of moving the ball with that first clear out to a teammate. But then that third man, you know, once they get that passing play to get the ball out, there's nobody waiting for a final shot. And I think United have recognized that idea, and now they're just putting themselves in positions to retrieve the ball after that initial midfield touch comes out from G2.
Ajax has options to the left, and Hoxer's shot just wide. Follow from Roldiz also goes wide. He had an open net, couldn't put it away, and eUnited did everything right.
And that's got to hurt for Roldiz, a clutch player. Oftentimes on eUnited, he's the guy who's finishing. Now another chance here, a 50-50. It goes their way, but not towards the net.
Roldiz still fighting for every inch, and a big clear from JNaps. Hoxer smartly went back, and he does make the save.
So surprised to see Roldiz with a huge miss towards the offensive end. So normally, at least for those shots where it's just a wide open net, he's been so consistent.
So still a tie game, 0-0. Coming up on halftime here. Rizzo plays it over to JNaps. And you can see eUnited getting smarter and smarter about the predictability of passes from G2. Follow up from JNaps is wide. Chicago trying to keep this one alive for G2. JNaps over to Chicago. Shot is going to be, it looked like it was going to go off the crossbar. Ajax clears it away in the end.
Good possession so far from G2. We're seeing them start to starve out eUnited, a little reminiscent of that first game where they started to carry momentum. A big miss there on the backboard, but it was almost made up for.
It was almost a great fake. Hoxer barely getting a piece of it there. United, their chance. Put some attack together. It's stopped up by G2. Roldiz trying to buy time. JNaps with no boost has to use his flip. Roldiz does well to track this ball to the other side. Chicago. Up by 2 on eUnited. Chicago trying to get a bump on Roldiz. JNaps trying to force it through the defense. Here's Rizzo.
Good passing.
That shot's wide. Pass up to Hoxer. Off the ceiling, and it's easily dealt with here from JNaps.
You can see the respect from G2 as well that they've given eUnited now as the series has progressed. They're pushing a little bit back as that third man, not being as aggressive because they don't want to get caught off guard like they have been for the first few games where there's just a booming clear. Another great shot here from G2.
Tough save from Hoxer, does make it. Ajax was left on the goal line there in a tough position, and big miss there, and a follow-up from JNaps, cleared away by Ajax. Still eUnited hanging on, but feeling a lot of pressure.
Goal line save after goal line save. How long can eUnited hold up? And will they get a counterattack to surprise G2? Here's another passing play.
Hoxer tried to get over Rizzo. Rizzo patiently waiting for that one to come down. Dish off to Chicago and saved away, and everyone from G2 committed Rolled is gonna pop it up for Hot Ajax there. Here's JNap, 70 boost.
1v1.
Tries to get by the last defender, couldn't do so.
Oh, there's space for Ajax. He's got full boost in the tank.
Gonna take it, hard touch. He's not gonna catch back up to it. Great catch from Chicago. And maybe G2 want to do it in 0-second time. No, it'll drop down. Still a scoreless game here in game 3.
eUnited, they're hanging on by a single thread at this point. Goal line saves are just getting put on the line right now for eUnited. They need to make this defense work.
JNap's contested, and here comes Roldiz. He just got
space.
Rizzo to beat. Can Roldiz go by? And great defense from Rizzo leads to a counterattack. JNap's trying to push Ajax out of the way. And good defense from Ajax. So the last defender standing strong for both teams. Demos on Rizzo. Shot. JNap's going to take it himself. Looking for the dunk. Does get it! The 50, the challenge for JNap's. And G2 take game 3.
And JNap's had space in the air. I was thinking maybe he's going to go for a flip reset, but instead he decides to just hover behind the ball. He forces that ground 50 all the way through to the net. The goalkeeper is caught off guard, and this time it's not a shot that can get saved, but instead of 50-50, the save it just doesn't come out. And at that point, that's frustrating to deal with against JNap's.
Tough series or tough game for eUnited here, as they were in it. They had a lot of opportunity. G2 in the end, it comes off of the challenge win from JNap's, and it comes out and he'll put it away. And for G2, they got to be happy. That was a tough game.
My goodness.
Where they come into a series where they are probably assuming they're going to win, and eUnited is making them work for it. And I'm extremely proud to see them play so well, especially after a tough series from Flight. They are going back and forth with this G2 team.
Yeah, and I mean, I think to speak to the defense of eUnited, Rizzo had 0 shots that game, and he's a guy who, if he's going to put something on target, it's usually going to be a cleanup goal, where JNap's and Chicago are the ones who are doing all the work in front. They force the defense into weird situations, and then it's popped up right for Rizzo to go in for a shot. And in this situation, in this game, Rizzo had 0 shots, and I think it all comes down really to eUnited's defense, because they were able to get in front of Chicago and JNap's and instantly deny any sort of momentum or possession from G2, and that's why I think we're seeing a better eUnited performance. It relies more on saves, but I think if they can keep this up, they have a chance here to take home the series.
A lot of defense being played for eUnited, and yet they are standing tall, similar to how the Sonics were playing earlier. A lot of defense, and yet they come out with a win. eUnited now trying to force a game 5 here against G2, backs against the wall. Can they get the job done? It was 1 overtime goal to separate them in game 4. And it was a winning position for eUnited, or really for both teams. Very close. Here's Hoxer. Has Ajax downfield, but it's too far. Chicago.
Oh, what a demo.
He wanted the pass to JNap's, but Ajax takes him out. Chicago running out of boost, but does get the clear. Here's Rizzo, pass over to JNap's, looking for the back wall. Ajax, big clear. And pinch down towards Hoxer, off the back wall, looking for cleanup, and Roldiz is there and can't get the second touch as he comes down. Still a dangerous ball, it was bouncing.
Chicago, the way he managed to get in front of the ball there, so impressive. He had to be so quick to jump into the air, block out the shot. Great performance from him to stop the ball and get in front of these shots, which is something that we didn't really find that too often. And now we see another one out of JNap's where they get in front, but eUnited just running around the defense, and now here's an open net for Chicago to shoot at. It goes in.
And what? G2 gets a goal that eUnited have been preying on the first 2 games. Everyone committed.
This looks like a complete swap of who's scoring, because at eUnited, they would get these style goals, and now it seems G2, they're kind of turtling up a bit, waiting for that over-aggression, and then they strike back with a booming clear.
And I wonder if Roldiz, who was coming to follow up, just was expecting a different bounce, maybe coming off the crossbar, maybe more down towards the net or higher up. So he did seem off the mark. And it was a tough read. It was tough to tell where it was coming from. Here's a great pass. Ajax trying to get the bump. eUnited looking to respond quickly here. Can't find it. And so Rizzo over to Chicago and back. Here's Roldiz. Pass one, but it's straight to Rizzo. Roldiz chases out JNaps.
Oh, maybe a fake?
Leaves it to Chicago. JNaps trying to clear through the defense.
I love the idea. Creative play there for JNaps to go for a fake. He's got another shot here on net. Great passing so far from G2. Chicago's in the air. Has the shot on net. It goes off the crossbar.
And Chicago almost got it as he came down as well. No boost. Still the shot put on target. Saved out by Ajax, and G2 knocking on the door at the moment.
You've got to be kidding me. That was so close. Beautiful back-to-back plays from G2. I love the fake idea from JNaps, and then the passing across the goal line. Everything coming in clutch and into fruition for G2. They just could not find the final shot.
United would love to find an equalizer sooner rather than later. Ajax. Roldiz does get a touch. It is on target. Rizzo has to make the save, and everyone from United was in attendance on the G2 side. Here's Hoxer.
Nice
has
pass.
options to Ajax and stuffed by the G2 defense. Roldiz down to Hoxer. Can he get the touch? He did. JNaps there to slow it up. Rizzo shot too high and a big miss. Roldiz does clean it up for United.
Oh, no.
Hoxer shot cleared away by Rizzo. United are looking to turn the heat up.
That was the third time I've seen Chicago have a little bit of a miss-touch on the backboard. And on defense, he's had a couple of times he's been bailed out by his teammates. So far, the defense has been holding strong. Chicago, if he can have a little bit better of a defensive touch and performance in the backfield, I think they've got this win in the bag if they can close the series out.
Hoxer trying to pop it up. Roldiz is there off the back wall looking for Ajax. 2 go from G2, and Chicago was waiting on the goal line. It came straight to him. Still a good setup there from United. It was just the shot, and Ajax gets bumped into that. Saved away by his teammate. JNap's going to do it himself off the crossbar and in, and G2 get a cushion.
If we look at this replay, back to the beginning, JNap, he bumped into the defender into the ball. I think that was Ajax he bumped into the ball. Yep. And then he managed to go for the flick to recover after that bump. Is so crucial. An extraordinary play, so unique. G2, that's a fortunate goal to say the least.
And so now United really need to get going, as time is not on their side. Down 2 goals, 45 seconds left. Roldiz. Hoxer does get a piece of it. Chicago plays it off his own back wall. Is actually pretty smart in the end. Comes out to Roldiz. Off the back wall, follow up from Hoxer. Does get a flip off that touch, but it was hit too hard.
And that shot from Hoxer, he was the final man to put something on target. He had to find the net, and now an open one is there for Rizzo. He actually kind of saves it. I'm not sure if that was going to go in completely. Rizzo, unfortunate circumstances for him. There's 20 seconds left.
And big clear here from JNaps. The shot was wide. And United looking to score with it. Just some time left on the clock at this point. Follow up as Chicago is looking to put it away. Big clear comes out from Hoxer. If he can keep it alive, picked up boost. And that might be it. Roldiz can't get a hold of it. G2 are going to hang on. And eUnited, they made him earn it.
Oh, yeah.
In the end.
Things were getting a little bit scary, definitely, for G2. That was an incredible series so far. eUnited, like you said, I thought they played well. I definitely think that you cannot come out of this series if you're eUnited extremely upset, because they brought it to them. They did have a great showing, especially on defense and especially from Ajax.
Yeah, I think Ajax looked great. Hoxer also looked great. And I think all of G2 did their part. Like I said, I feel like in this particular series, G2 came out and did what I expected. Yeah. You saw the passing plays. You saw the give and go. You saw the quick transition. Everything that you expect from G2, they did it in this series. But you have to give credit to the United defense. That's really what stuck out to me from the team, to hang on.
Oh, yeah.
And then not only that, because it's one thing to just sit back and play defense, but it's another to create chances, be so quick down the field. And that's what we saw.
And I actually think it's a very similar play style to the previous series with Sonics. They were trying to, kind of replicate that style of where you're waiting, you're giving the opposition more space in the midfield only to catch them off guard for the counterattack. And it did work wonders a couple of times. We saw multiple cases where they'd get a huge clear directly from their net, almost a hyper beam clear, where they just smash the ball forward. They catch somebody, rotating back too slow on G2, and that's something we see a lot from Sonic. So a similar playstyle there, but against G2, you have to have even more of an insane defense because their shots, passing, it's all too good and too crisp.
And G2 still do not have a loss, and they are currently looking very strong here in North America. They go home with a win against eUnited. We've got more North American RLCS action coming up. Stay with us.